Hey, how you doing? This is Charles White. We have a very special show for you. As you know, Vacaville is election season. The election is November the 4th, and we have a very special guest here. We have Rodney Harrison. He's running for mayor. We have Ron coming on, and we have Lynn Augustine. Hopefully, we extended an invitation for them to come out also. So hopefully they'll come out and let you know what's going on. So first, without further ado, let me introduce one of the candidates that's running for mayor, Mr. Rodney Harrison. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So running for mayor, huh?
Yes, sir.
I know what you're thinking, Vacaville. This guy looks a little young.
Yep. So I'm pretty sure we'll be able to pull it off on the 4th of November, and I don't think age will play a factor in this election.
You don't think age will play a factor?
I don't think age will play a
factor. Okay, well, let's
factor.
get it out the way then. So you're not 12. I know what you're thinking. You look like you just came out of junior high school, but that may be a good thing. How old are you? Can I ask your age?
Yes, I'm 18.
You're
18 years old.
Okay, let's just get it right off the bat. What made you decide to run for mayor 18 years old?
I've looked at the way Vacaville has progressed over time, and I don't agree with the way it's progressed, and a lot of its citizens don't agree with the way it's progressed. And in my opinion, Vacaville is on the right path to become the next Fairfield, and that's not what any resident in Vacaville wants or I want. So it's up to me to make a difference, especially our generation as well. My generation, it's up to us to make a difference for Vacaville because it's not happening now, and if it doesn't happen now, then when?
You say that we're on the path to becoming the next Fairfield.
Yes.
Let me understand that. What do you mean?
The crime rate, the way the politicians interact with each other and the general public, that's two things: education rate, dropout rate, the literacy rate. So all of those are slowly declining. And I did some research on Wood High School, and the graduation rate is hovering around 85% right now. And in my opinion, no graduation rate should be that low. My goal is to have around 97, 98% graduation rates at Vaca High and Wood, and that's definitely the start of scholastic excellence. Right there is increasing the graduation rate. There's a lot of schools across the state, across the city, across the nation, and I don't feel that our students can compete on the statewide level, let alone the national level, with the amount of education that we're giving them. So it's up to the city to make a difference.
Okay, now Vacaville, you went to school in Vacaville?
Went to school in Vacaville. I went to Fairmont Elementary. I went to Vacapina Middle School, and I also attended Jepson Middle School for some time.
Okay, well, they should be very proud of you up there.
Yes, hopefully they are.
Well, that's really what we want. We want someone to go through the school system, and then once they get out, want to give back to the community. So that's what it is. You want to give back, or what's going on?
Yep, I definitely do want to give back from the community. A lot of my family lived here. I'm a fourth generation. My mother, uncle, aunt, they all went to Wood, Vaca High. Cousins went to Wood. So there's a lot of family history here. My great-grandmother lived right behind Fairmont Elementary on Trinity Drive. So I remember growing up going over Cemetery Hill when I went to Vacapina. So now I'll be going over Cemetery Hill as the next mayor, not a student at Vacapina anymore.
Okay. As you said, he's running for mayor of Vacaville. Now we have Ron Roulette. He's, I think, in his 40s. We have Lynn Augustine. He was mayor before.
Definitely.
Why not those guys? Why not Ron?
Why not Ron? Ron has been on city council for a number of years, and I go door to door, do campaigning, do precinct walks. I talk to my voters, and my voters aren't happy with the way Vacaville is currently, and they're not happy with the way it was in the past. And Ron Roulette is primarily responsible for the state that we're in, and we have been in the past. So I don't think you want to give a promotion to somebody that you're unhappy with. That's equivalent to giving a promotion or an award to a kid who got bad grades or a child who stole. You're going to reward them. And that's not what I stand for, and that's not what my constituents stand for.
Okay. Lynn Augustine, he was mayor before?
Yes, Lynn Augustine.
He's got a lot of experience in this. He's got his name stamped throughout Vacaville. Why not Lynn?
I've done some research on the crime rate in Vacaville, California, and the crime rate was as high as it's been since 2000 while Len Augustine was in office. And another thing is, you may say, well, he just got into office. The second highest crime rate annually was also while Len was in office. So the 2 years since 2000 with the highest crime rates were while Len Augustine was in office. That's one reason. Another reason is career politicians. Len Augustine ran for a higher seat, a more prestigious seat in the state capitol in 2012, and he failed. And in my opinion, the only reason he's running for mayor of Vacaville is to have a position to fill his time. And that's not right. Vacaville citizens don't deserve that. Residents don't deserve that. And we can also see on the national level, too, with career politicians in Congress, the Senate, the House. Career politicians can't get the job done. They're not open-minded. And quite frankly, I don't want to go back to where Vacaville was a number of years ago. I want to move forward and bring more ideas and fresh ideas into Vacaville, California.
He hitting them, Vacaville. He hitting them. Okay. I will have Ron here. I will have Lynn here. Mr. Augustine, I will ask them the same question. This is not to bash anyone. This is just, why not them? And I'm sure if you thought they were the guys to go for it, you say, I want what's best for Vacaville.
Definitely.
So I will vote for them.
Definitely.
Okay. So now that we know why not Lynn, why not Ron, why you?
Why
Mr.
me?
Harrison.
Why you should vote for me is because I'm willing to bring more ideas into Vacaville, California. I'm willing to be open-minded and work with everyone. And I'm not a one percenter. I don't make a six-figure salary. I'm not set for life like all of the politicians in city council are. I have to work for a living, and that's what a majority of Vacaville residents do. So I feel like I'm the most representative of the Vacaville population. Len Augustine, Ron Roulette, they have six-figure salaries. They don't really have to work for a living because they're already well established. Me, I seen in the Local 39 case, I supported them because I am equivalent to them. I have to work for what I get. I can't afford to have a 21% cut because that will directly affect me and my family. So another thing is I won't pass any hasty legislation or ordinances that will affect the youth or the working class because I am the youth and I am the working class. So what affects the average Vacaville resident also affects me.
Okay, all right. Well, you hear that, Vacaville? Here's a question for you. Now, experience. Lynn has experience. You say Ron has been on the city council. He has experience. What about you? What experience do you have?
I'm the student body secretary at Solano Community College, and I have experience passing budgets and different legislation that has to do with college students. We just recently passed a $200,000 budget. And regardless of what people may think, a $200,000 budget may not be as much as the Vacaville budget is right now, but the basics of getting that budget passed goes for any budget. You have to cooperate with one another. You have to take different ideas, make cuts or additions in certain spaces, and that's one of the reasons I feel like I have enough experience. And being a secretary, you have to be very well organized. You have to keep track of minutes, agendas, and I do that very well. I was a Senate page and a governor's page as well, so I have a substantial amount of connections with different politicians, and Democrat and Republican alike. I can call a Democrat on the phone, call a Republican on the phone, and see exactly what I agree with from each party. I'm willing to work with everybody no matter where you come from because I know I didn't come from the best place in the past, so I'm willing to work with other people. And I feel like I have experience in that. And another thing is, the only difference between me and Ron and me and Len are the amount of degrees that we have. And a lot of people that are in office now, and not only on the local level, but the state and the national level as well, they feel like since they have a doctorate or a master's degree that they can do everything on their own. And me not having that works to my advantage because I'll have to depend on you and every single voter in Vacaville, California. I'll have to have your input to pass meaningful legislation ordinances. So that's why I feel like I'm the best candidate, and I feel like I have the most experience.
All right. Well, that's what they want to hear. Okay. You have a lot of different voting bases here. You have young, you have old, you have black, you have white. You got those that just moved here, those that's been here all their life. For the ones that's been here all their life and they're older and they, you know how they feel about the young. Talk to them. Why should they? Why? How are you going to get their votes?
The older, mature votes, I plan on getting their votes just by being truthful and honest and showing them a substantial amount of integrity. You said that they lived here for a majority of their life, and I do agree with what you said, and they saw how Vacaville has declined over the years. So I feel like they support me, and there's kind of bad rap with my generation. We're not really as productive as we could be, as respectful as we could be, and I feel as if I can change that. I can change the viewpoint that a lot of people have on our generation. You know, a lot of 18-year-olds don't even know what a Democrat or a Republican is, but are out on the streets smoking and drinking, and that's not what every single person that represents our generation is. So I feel like I can open their minds, let them see a different viewpoint on just how respectful our generation is, how productive we are, and why we make good candidates and why I make a good candidate. So that's how I plan on getting their vote.
Local 39, we had an interview. Me, Rick Johnson, Vice President. We went out and interviewed them, and they had a lot of good things to say about you. How did you get involved with that?
I got involved by going to the city council meeting, and I saw a lot of their stuff on social media, and the city council meeting was substantially disturbing, and I found it very, very disturbing that the night before we had our candidate forum, which was sponsored by the Chamber of Commerce, and it's known fact that chambers and unions don't really coexist. They are back and forth at each other. But not one question was asked about Local 39 at that forum, and not one candidate besides myself referenced Local 39 in that forum. And I feel like that's why I make a good candidate, because no matter what my party affiliation is, I will stand with Local 39 because it's bigger than a Republican issue or a Democrat issue, and that's exactly why neither one of the other candidates touched the issue. And you see that on the national level and the state level as well. If it's an issue that they'll lose votes from their party for, or their party will reject them for, they won't touch it. And that's definitely an issue that needed to be touched. And another thing is unity. You can look on my website. There's an assessment of things that have to do with unity. And we went on a strike, and we showed how united we were and how focused we were on fighting towards one common goal, and that was equality among all the workers. And unity is starting to prevail because on Friday they hired a mediator, so hopefully those things are working well, and hopefully everything works out in the future. But that's one of the biggest things that I harp on is unity. And regardless of what happened, if we weren't united, we would have never got this far in the negotiation. So that's my stance on Local 39. I support them all the way, and hopefully they get what they need to be successful.
All right, Vacaville, you're hearing this. This is Rodney Harrison, and he's running for mayor. In Vacaville, you have the minority and you have the majority. As mayor, you have to deal with both. I mean, you have to deal with both sides. You have to deal with the Republicans. You have to deal with the Democrat. You have to deal with the minority. You have to deal with the majority. You're dealing with a lot of different races. I mean, you're dealing with Vacaville citizens. Are you prepared for that?
I'm definitely prepared for that. I feel like a lot of the politicians in city council don't stand up for the minority. And when I say minority, I don't mean only blacks, only Hispanics, only youths. I mean the average working class citizen. We are the minority because we're so unfairly treated that we don't stand a chance to get a proper education. We don't stand a chance to aspire to eventually earn six-figure salaries like the people in city council and city hall do. And I stand for the working class individuals, the minority, no matter where you come from, because I didn't come from the best background, you know. I've been in foster care before. I've had a lot of bad things happen, and I understand where a lot of these people come from and the help that they need. I'm not only talking about the Hispanics, I'm not only talking about the African Americans, I'm talking about every working class individual within Vacaville, California. I stand for them, and I stand for everybody who needs help. I feel like the Solano County Republican Party, they're more focused on getting a quick dollar or increasing revenue instead of helping the minority. And the minority is what allows them to generate that revenue. And no matter where you come from, we're all one. I put it this way. We have a lot of issues going on with Russia right now, or North Korea, or Iran, Iraq, whoever. If they were to come to America and attack us right now, I don't care whether you're black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight, lesbian, whatever, I will fight with you to protect my country because we're all one. We're all American, we're all human, we're all God's children, we're all one. So that's my stance on the minority and why I stand with them.
All right, Vacaville, you're hearing it straight out of Mr. Rodney Harrison's mouth. I mean, I'm really impressed in what I'm hearing today. Again, we're Vacaville Access Community Television Station. We're not here to endorse any candidate. We're here to introduce the candidates to you, to let you hear it from their mouths through our television station. We're here to support you, Vacaville. You'll be running the city if you're elected mayor. You're talking to police department. You're talking to fire department.
I think the residents will run the city because
Really?
I govern for the people, by the people. So the residents will run the city.
Okay. Well, let's do it like that. City. What about the police department? What about the fire department?
Police and fire, they're doing a really great job. I have a couple of problems with the police department specifically. The fire department's doing a great job, but I feel like the police department could do a little bit better job at managing the crime within Vacaville. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in Vacaville that people don't realize. The crime rate may be low, but at one time, the Fairfield crime rate was low as well. Cities don't just become bad cities at the drop of a dime. They slowly progress and become bad cities. You know, at one time, Fairfield was good, Los Angeles was good, Oakland was good, and I feel like our police department rejects the idea that we can even remotely become the next Fairfield or Oakland. And I feel like we can do a little bit more to support our youth, definitely, and our high school and middle school age students. The Police Activities League is one of the greatest things around here that we have for our youth, and I commend the Police Activities League and the police department on sponsoring them. That's one of the biggest things we can do, and the police department needs to get a little bit more active within the community, and that will in turn increase the safety within Vacaville and decrease the crime rate.
Okay. I had someone bring this to me themselves. A lot of the citizens in Vacaville, I mean, not only do they work in Vacaville, they actually own their own businesses, and they're saying it's getting harder. I mean, what will you do to bring businesses and keep businesses in Vacaville opposed to them moving somewhere else because the land is a little cheaper or because the red tape is not as much? What would you do?
One of the biggest things I would do is streamline the business process, and by that I mean making it easier to create a business. One of the biggest deterrents of businesses being created is the application process. And the application process is extremely hard. The current city council members offer little to no help in creating the business and aren't even available when you have questions. So I want to communicate with potential business owners to create their business. That's the first step. To maintain businesses within Vacaville, California, I'd have an open line of communication with them. That's the number one goal, is to have an open line of communication with the businesses. Right now, the city council members have an open line with the Chamber of Commerce, and that's the only entity they have an open line of communication with. There's a lot of locally owned businesses, family owned businesses within the city of Vacaville, California that need help, and they're not receiving the help they need because the communication aspect is not there. Communication is the key to everything, and that also goes hand in hand with streamlining the business process. The crime rate is another reason. A lot of businesses here don't feel safe here. They lose revenue because of thefts, and that's one of the biggest reasons that they relocate to other cities as well. So if we can keep the crime rate down, that would definitely be another incentive to keep businesses in Vacaville, California.
All right, there you go. As you can see, Vacaville, again, we're not here to endorse. We're just here to introduce. We have invited Ron and Lynn down the same way. Quick question. If we decided before the election do a live debate here, Would it be okay? You down? Can we do that? Or is that something you got to think about?
No, I would definitely take part in a live debate. The key is getting Len and Ron to take part in a live
Okay,
debate.
well, we're going to ask them the same questions. I mean, we're going to give them the same action. They're coming on down, and you hear it. We would like to do a live debate here on television, live, call in questions, get it out, everyone meet and greet. It'll be a good thing. You know, that's part of the political agenda to have that happen. We're going to pause for station identification. This was not scripted. We did this basically in one take. I'm meeting Mr. Rodney Harris for the first time, talked to him on the phone many times. I want to say thanks again for coming out, but before we leave, pause for station identification, and when we come back, I'll have him look in and sum it all up in 60 seconds why you should vote for him. All right? Let's pause for station identification.
My name is Rodney Harrison. I'm running for mayor of Vacaville, California. You should vote for me because I stand with the minority, not against the minority. Unity is the key no matter where you come from, your background, race, religion, ethnicity, your sexual preference, whether you're gay, lesbian, straight, I don't care. We're all one. We're all human. We're all God's children, and we need to stick together and stick together in this campaign on November 4th to elect me as your next mayor of Vacaville, California. I'm the best candidate because I'm willing to bring fresh ideas, new ideas, and work with every resident of Vacaville, California. Vacaville, California is in a state of despair due to Ron Roulette's activities on the city council for the past years. We don't want to give a promotion to somebody who is doing the Vacaville residents wrong. We don't want to go back to where we were years ago when Len Augustine was mayor. The crime rate was much higher than it is, as high as it's been in nearly 2 decades since Len Augustine was mayor. You should vote for me because I'm willing to work with you no matter where you come from, and I'm interested in uniting with you all. Thank you very much. God bless.
All right, there you have it, Vacaville. We want to thank everybody that watched this show, enjoyed this show. I'm very pleased with this show. I'm glad that we're doing this. We have approximately about almost just up under 2 months before the election, November the 4th. Get out and vote.
Definitely.
At the end of the day, no matter who you vote for, whether it's Rodney, whether it's Ron, whether it's Lynn, get out and vote. That's your right. That's what you need to do. That's what he needs you to do. We'll be looking forward for the next 2 interviews. This is Charles White. I want to thank the cameraman, Vince from Vince Central TV. Check him out on the internet. It's VinceCentralTV.com. I want to thank Rick Johnson for Choker Film. Everyone that showed up, everyone that's watching. I'm Charles White, Vacaville Access Channel 27. Don't forget to support. You know we need your donations. Go to the website, vctaccess.org. This is Charles White signing off. Thank you very much. It was great to meet you. We're out of here. Cut.